The king of diesel just threw a curveball no one saw coming. Cummins, the name behind the most powerful trucks and toughest machines, is betting it all on a brand new engine. But this isn't just a cleaner motor. It's a hydrogen-powered beast designed to take down diesel and maybe even disrupt the entire electric vehicle wave. Same power, zero carbon, and built to work in the trucks we already use. What you're about to hear isn't theory, it's a real-world shakeup. And according to the Cummins CEO, this could collapse everything we thought we knew about the auto industry. The diesel dynasty. Before we talk about where Cummins is going, let's talk about where it's been. For over 100 years, Cummins has been a name people trust. Their engines power everything from pickup trucks and semis to farm equipment and construction gear. You've heard the deep growl of a Cummins engine before. It's the sound of hard work. It's been the go-to name for strength, durability, and machines that don't quit. Their legendary B6.7L diesel engine became a symbol in the truck world. From the Ram 2500 to the 5500 heavy-duty rigs, this engine helped build highways, deliver goods, and keep businesses moving. It wasn't just about horsepower, it was about trust. People believed in Cummins because the engines worked, day after day, job after job. They earned their reputation the old-school way, through performance. The diesel engine wasn't just about trucks. It powered agriculture, mining, delivery fleets, and global supply chains. Cummins didn't just build engines, they helped build industries. And that's what makes their next move so surprising. Because the company that once ruled diesel is now preparing to move beyond it, not by force, but by vision. The heart of innovation is knowing when to evolve, a Cummins exec recently said. That's where this story turns. Because while diesel got Cummins to the top, it's hydrogen that might take them into the future. Cummins' history is tied to diesel, but the world around it has started to shift. The noise, the smoke, and the emissions, governments and industries are starting to push back. And Cummins, they're listening. In our next chapter, we dive into how diesel found itself on the defensive. The world turns against diesel. Once seen as the workhorse of progress, diesel is now in the hot seat. Governments around the world are rolling out new environmental rules, and diesel is one of the first targets. In places like California, trucks built before 2010 are being banned. Across Europe, Euro 7 regulations are setting stricter emissions limits. And globally, the goal is clear: zero emissions by 2050. For companies that rely on diesel, this is a problem. Fleets that once proudly showed off their Cummins-powered rigs are now being forced to upgrade or face fines. Farmers, haulers, and builders are looking for cleaner options that won't get them penalized. Diesel, once the badge of strength, is starting to feel like a liability. The world wants quieter, cleaner, and greener engines, and it wants them fast. But it's not just about rules, it's about public pressure. Today's consumers are choosing companies that are doing their part to help the planet. Businesses that want to stay competitive need to show they care. A fleet of diesel trucks spewing exhaust just doesn't look good anymore. And Cummins, the diesel king, saw it coming. "Adapt or be left behind," said one Cummins engineer. That's why they made a bold move, betting big on hydrogen, not just as a test, but as a total transformation. Diesel had its time. Now the future is pointing somewhere new. And Cummins isn't just following the trend, they're trying to lead it. That leads us to the big reveal. The engine that's making all the noise, not from exhaust, but from headlines. What Cummins did next shook the industry, not just because it was innovative, but because it was unexpected. Let's look at how the diesel legend is now becoming the hydrogen leader. Enter hydrogen. Imagine the same engine power you get from diesel, but without the pollution. That's what Cummins is working on. Their new hydrogen-powered internal combustion engine, or hydrogen IC, isn't a science fair project. It's a full-blown diesel alternative built for real jobs, real trucks, and real people. And it runs on the most abundant element in the universe: hydrogen. This isn't about going electric, it's about staying powerful and familiar, just with a cleaner twist. Hydrogen ICEs can be dropped into today's trucks with little change to the transmission, the frame, or even the repair process. That's a huge deal. Drivers don't have to learn a whole new system. Mechanics don't have to retrain from scratch. Everything feels familiar except the fuel. And the fuel, it burns clean. The only thing that comes out of the tailpipe is water vapor. No carbon, no soot, just steam. It's not just a cleaner option, it's a zero carbon one. And it's got performance too. Early tests show these hydrogen engines delivering real torque and speed, strong enough for the hardest hauling or towing jobs. "We didn't want to reinvent the truck," one Cummins rep said. "We just wanted to reinvent the way it runs." And that's what makes this engine so disruptive. It doesn't force the world to change overnight. It lets drivers step into the future using what they already know, just with a cleaner engine under the hood. We've now met the challenger, Cummins' hydrogen engine. But how exactly did they turn their toughest diesel engine into a hydrogen-powered machine? What does it look like under the hood? In our next section, we break down how Cummins reinvented its most iconic engine and turned it into a symbol of what's next. Reinventing the champion, Cummins didn't just build a hydrogen engine from scratch. They started with a legend. The B6.7L engine, the same one trusted in Ram 2500s and 5500s for years, became the foundation for their hydrogen push. That engine is known for being tough, reliable, and long-lasting. So instead of reinventing everything, Cummins asked a bold question. What if we kept what works and swapped out what pollutes? They began by converting the B6.7's diesel system to run on hydrogen. That meant redesigning the combustion chamber, adjusting timing, and optimizing airflow, all to make hydrogen burn fast, strong, and clean. But the beauty of this engine is that the rest of it feels familiar. It still bolts into the same frames, still uses the same axles, still gets serviced by the same hands. That's the magic. No drastic overhaul, just a new kind of fuel. Drivers stepping into trucks with this hydrogen B6.7 won't feel like they're piloting a spaceship. They'll feel the same torque, the same towing power, the same ease on the road. But the tailpipe tells a different story. No soot, no smell, no carbon. It's a cleaner drive that doesn't compromise on performance. "Our goal wasn't to change the job," said one Cummins developer. "It was to change what gets it done." That's exactly what they've done, offering the same trusted muscle in a cleaner, smarter package. It's evolution without disruption, and it's ready to hit the road soon. If Cummins could turn their iconic B6.7 into a hydrogen beast, what else could they do? The answer came with their next project, building an entirely new monster, one that would shake up the heaviest-duty trucking segment. Let's meet the engine designed to take on the biggest jobs, without burning a drop of diesel. The powerhouse. The B6.7 may cover the mid-duty market, but Cummins had bigger plans. Enter the X15H, a 15-liter hydrogen-powered engine built to go head-to-head with diesel's strongest contenders. Designed for long-haul trucks, tractors, mining rigs, and heavy equipment, this machine is all muscle, no emissions. If diesel engines are the kings of torque, the X15H was made to challenge that throne. Under the hood, this beast cranks out over 500 horsepower and 200 Newton of torque. That's not good for a hydrogen engine. That's good. It's a good period. From hauling freight across the country to powering 18-wheelers on steep climbs, this engine delivers. It's got the grunt drivers expect with zero carbon output and Cummins durability behind it. Even better, the X15H is built on the same basic structure as Cummins' fuel-agnostic platform. That means different fuels, diesel, natural gas, or hydrogen, can run on similar hardware. With a few adjustments to the fuel system and cylinder head, the same engine design can meet different needs. It's flexible, scalable, and efficient. And it's launching in 2027 with testing already showing big promise. "We didn't build a concept, we built a solution," one Cummins test engineer said. The X15H isn't a prototype for trade shows. It's a production-grade engine being lined up for real-world use. One that lets industries transition to hydrogen without giving up the performance they rely on. 2 hydrogen engines now stand ready. One for delivery trucks and light-duty work. The other for highway monsters and farm giants. But what makes this shift even more powerful isn't just the tech. It's how perfectly hydrogen ICEs fit into the existing world. Let's look at how these engines are designed to slot right into today's vehicles without skipping a beat. A clean fit. Here's the big question. Even if hydrogen engines work, can they actually fit into the world we live in now? The answer is yes, and that's what makes this whole story so exciting. Cummins didn't build a future that needs to wait 20 years. They built something for today. Their hydrogen ICEs fit into current trucks, current transmissions, and current repair networks. That's a game changer. With electric vehicles, especially for heavy-duty use, the challenge is always infrastructure. Charging takes time. Batteries are heavy. Mechanics need new training. But hydrogen ICEs, they refuel in minutes, just like diesel. They use existing truck architecture. And the mechanics who fix today's diesel engines, they can handle these too. The learning curve is short, the transition is smooth. And because these engines share so many parts with Cummins' existing platforms, maintenance stays familiar. That means lower costs, faster rollouts, and happier fleet owners. Even fleet managers who were skeptical about electric or fuel cells are now looking at hydrogen ICEs and saying, okay, this actually makes sense. We knew change couldn't be painful, said a Cummins executive, so we made sure it wasn't. That's why hydrogen ICEs are more than just cool tech. They're practical solutions for a world that needs to move fast, but can't afford to stop. Hydrogen engines aren't just smart, they're usable. They fit into the trucks and systems people already rely on. But Cummins isn't stopping with engines. In our next chapter, we explore how they're going even deeper, building the hydrogen supply chain itself to support this clean revolution. Beyond engines, Cummins didn't just build a hydrogen engine, they're building everything around it. A clean engine is only useful if the world has the fuel to run it. That's why Cummins is investing not just in hardware, but in the hydrogen supply chain itself. They're taking hydrogen from buzzword to business model fast. They're helping build out hydrogen production hubs, like their planned 35-megawatt electrolyzer near Niagara Falls, New York. That's a massive facility designed to generate clean hydrogen using water and renewable electricity. It's not a science project, it's commercial scale. These plants can supply fleets, power entire refueling networks, and speed up the adoption of hydrogen trucks across the map. Then there's the big picture, the US government's $8 billion investment in hydrogen hubs. Cummins is right in the mix, aligning their rollout with public infrastructure projects. As refueling stations expand, so does the viability of hydrogen fleets. It's all part of a long-term play. Own the engine, the fuel, and the future. We didn't want to wait for someone else to solve the fuel problem, a Cummins project manager said. So we're solving it ourselves. This isn't just innovation, it's ownership of the full ecosystem. An engine that fits, a fuel supply that grows. Cummins is building a clean future that's ready now, not years down the line. But what really sets them apart is flexibility. The next chapter explores how their fuel-agnostic platform lets customers pick the clean path that works for them. Fuel-agnostic strategy. One of the smartest things Cummins has done is not put all their bets on one fuel. Instead, they created a fuel-agnostic platform, meaning the same basic engine can run on hydrogen, diesel, natural gas, or even biofuels, depending on what the customer needs and what's available nearby. Let's say a fleet in California has access to renewable natural gas. They can run a Cummins engine tuned for that. Another fleet in Germany may want hydrogen to meet zero-emission mandates. Same engine family, different fuel. With just a swap of the cylinder head and fuel system, they get the power they need without buying a whole new platform. This flexible strategy lowers costs and eases the transition for companies that can't afford to go fully electric or hydrogen overnight. Instead of ripping out fleets and retraining every mechanic, Cummins gives businesses options. Clean now, cleaner later, all without breaking the system or the bank. We didn't want to force people to pick a side, said a Cummins executive. We wanted to give them the power to choose their path. And in a world full of uncertainty, that choice is everything. So now you've got a clean engine, multiple fuel paths, and infrastructure coming alive. The only question left is, Who's actually using this tech? In the next section, we dive into the real-world customers already making the switch and what it means for diesel's future. The tidal shift. This isn't just a bold plan sitting in a press release. Real companies are already lining up to use Cummins hydrogen engines. From agriculture to logistics, businesses that once swore by diesel are now embracing hydrogen power. And that shift is happening faster than most people realize. Take Versatile, a major tractor manufacturer that's used Cummins diesel engines for over 50 years. They're now jumping on the hydrogen train, developing farming equipment powered by the 15L hydrogen platform. These machines need serious torque, and Cummins is proving they can deliver it without diesel smoke clouding the field. Or look at logistics fleets. Companies like Transport Enterprise Leasing and Tata Motors are already partnering with Cummins to prepare for hydrogen-based heavy-duty vehicles. These are no small players. They represent thousands of trucks, millions of miles, and huge fuel demands. And they're choosing Cummins' new path. "We're not just betting on the tech," one fleet owner said. "We're betting on Cummins to make it work." That kind of customer trust isn't bought. It's earned over decades. And now it's being repaid with cleaner, smarter powertrains for the next generation of movement. Customers are committing. Fleets are shifting. This isn't theory, it's happening on the ground. But if this momentum keeps building, what happens to diesel? In the next section, we explore the looming collapse of diesel's dominance and the ripple effects it could trigger across the industry. The diesel collapse. Now let's ask the question everyone's been avoiding. What happens if Cummins pulls this off? What if hydrogen engines catch on and diesel starts slipping from its throne? It's not just a win for Cummins, it's a complete restructuring of how the industry works. Start with resale value. Diesel trucks have long held strong secondhand prices because everyone trusted their durability. But what happens when fleets start swapping them for hydrogen rigs? Diesel resale could tank. Dealers could see inventory pile up. And diesel mechanics, many of whom spent their lives mastering complex fuel and exhaust systems, will have to adapt fast or risk being left behind. Then there's the supply chain. Diesel isn't just about engines, it's an entire economy. Oil refineries, fuel transport companies, exhaust system manufacturers, emissions control tech, all of it is built around diesel. When that demand dries up, those businesses face collapse, consolidation, or complete reinvention. Hydrogen doesn't need diesel exhaust fluid. It doesn't need particulate filters. That means thousands of parts, suppliers, and jobs are suddenly outdated. And this shift isn't limited to trucks. Agriculture is changing. Versatile Tractors, a staple in North American farming, is working with Cummins to bring hydrogen power to the fields. Imagine farmers plowing soil and planting crops with zero-emission machines. No more black clouds of exhaust. No more carbon guilt. Just raw, clean torque doing the job quietly. Hydrogen lets us keep the strength but lose the smoke, one farmer put it. And that's what Cummins is banking on. That people don't want to abandon power, they just want to make it cleaner. This is a revolution, not a retreat. But a change this massive doesn't just shake up engines, it shakes up economies. What happens when entire refueling networks are no longer needed? What happens when parts suppliers and mechanics have to pivot or disappear? In the next chapter, we dive deeper into the ripple effect of diesel's fall. The ripple effect. When diesel loses ground, the ripple doesn't stop at the engine bay. It spreads across the entire transportation and energy ecosystem, right down to the roadside truck stop. Picture this. A company with hundreds of diesel trucks decides to switch to Cummins Hydrogen X15H. Suddenly, their fueling needs change. Diesel pumps get used less. Maintenance schedules shift. Emissions testing becomes irrelevant. Entire workflows get turned inside out. This shift will hit fuel infrastructure first. Think about the truck stops and service centers built around diesel. Fuel islands, tanks, underground storage, all designed to support the diesel lifestyle. If hydrogen becomes the new standard, we'll need a whole new network: hydrogen pumps, safety systems, and supply logistics. Companies that don't pivot will be left with stranded assets. Stations that serve a shrinking customer base. And it doesn't end there. Oil companies are watching this closely. For decades, diesel has been a reliable profit stream. But if large fleets start choosing hydrogen, especially green hydrogen made from renewables, big oil is in trouble. They'll have to evolve into energy providers or risk losing relevance in a carbon-free world. Then there's policy. As hydrogen gains traction, governments will respond. We'll see new regulations, new incentives, and new requirements for fleets. Already, California has set bold rules to remove diesel trucks by 2045. Now imagine more states and more countries doing the same. Cummins, by leading the hydrogen race, becomes the go-to name in compliance-friendly engines. We're not just watching history, we're making it, a Cummins spokesperson said. That's not hype, that's a prediction. And if it plays out, diesel's dominance could shrink fast, not by force, but by momentum. From refueling stations to oil giants, from policies to parts suppliers, the ripple is already forming. But Cummins isn't just relying on market trends, they're building an entire business model around this shift. In the next section, let's explore how they've set up the hydrogen engine to win. Cummins' game plan. This isn't some experimental side project. Cummins has gone all in, from engine design to hydrogen production, from customer deals to political strategy. Every move they've made in the last few years has been quietly building toward this one moment. First off, there's the tech itself. These aren't low-power prototypes. The X15H can pump out over 530 horsepower. The B6.7H offers the same output as its diesel twin. That means no compromises on payloads, terrain, or reliability. And because these engines are built on Cummins' new fuel-agnostic platform, they share parts and designs with existing diesel engines. That means cheaper manufacturing, easier servicing, and a faster rollout. Second, Cummins is partnering up. They've locked in deals with Versatile, Tata Motors, and Transport Enterprise Leasing. These aren't random names, they're major industry players. When they buy in, the world pays attention. And those deals give Cummins real-world feedback to refine the tech in real time. It's not a lab project, it's a working product being shaped by real users. Third, Cummins is investing in the full ecosystem. They're not waiting for someone else to build refueling stations. They're launching electrolyzers, backing hydrogen hubs, and aligning with public infrastructure plans. That's how you win, not just by having a product, but by owning the environment it needs to succeed. We're not here to participate, one Cummins exec said. We're here to lead. And with the way they've structured this rollout, it's hard to argue with that confidence. Everything Cummins has done, from engine design to hydrogen production to global partnerships, has led us here. So what's next? In our final chapter, we pull back and look at the big picture. Is this really the collapse of diesel or just the start of something new? The final verdict, collapse or rebirth. So here we are, diesel's future on one side, Cummins' hydrogen revolution on the other. Some say this is the collapse of the diesel empire. Others say it's just the next chapter in a long story of engine evolution. But one thing is certain, the rules have changed, and Cummins is dealing the cards. The hydrogen engines they've developed are real. The tests are happening. The orders are rolling in. These aren't concept cars or luxury experiments. These are real powertrains built for real work. Trucks, tractors, delivery fleets, and mining equipment. Jobs that need serious torque and 24/7 reliability. The beauty of Cummins' strategy is this. They're not forcing a revolution. They're offering a better option that works right now. Same performance, fewer emissions, easier transition. And while diesel may hang on for a while, thanks to infrastructure and habit, it's now playing defense, not offense. Change doesn't always start loud, one Cummins insider said. Sometimes it starts quietly under the hood. That's exactly what we're seeing. Not a headline, not a headline grab, but a silent shift, one engine at a time, one fleet at a time, until eventually the diesel empire doesn't fall with a crash, but fades into memory. So here's where we land. Cummins, the diesel titan, just flipped the script on the entire transportation world. They didn't wait for electric to catch up. They didn't cling to the past. They engineered a future where the trucks we love still roar, with zero emissions, no compromises, and the same raw power that built their legacy. This hydrogen engine isn't a gimmick. It's not a science fair demo. It's already rolling into real fleets, powering real jobs and shaking the confidence of legacy automakers and EV startups alike. It fits existing platforms. It uses proven technology, and it's backed by a company that knows how to play the long game. The fall of diesel won't come with fireworks. It'll come quietly, one truck at a time, one contract at a time, until the road is filled with clean, burning Cummins engines, and the rest of the industry is scrambling to catch up. As Cummins CEO put it, "We built diesel. Now we're building what comes next." Thanks for watching. If this opened your eyes to what's really going on behind the scenes in the auto world, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're ready for another mind-blowing innovation that's rewriting the future of transportation, click on the next video now. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming.